I never imagined our wedding anniversary would be the night everything finally made sense. 13 years of marriage teaches you how to ignore small cracks, how to tell yourself that distance is normal, that routine replaces passion, that love just changes shape. My name is Callum Reeves. I'm 42, and until that night, I believed loyalty was enough to hold a marriage together, even when warmth quietly disappeared. The party was her idea, a big one. Friends, family, music, catered food, the whole performance. Mara said it was important to celebrate properly this year. I didn't argue. I rarely did anymore. I wore the suit she picked, smiled when expected, shook hands, accepted congratulations for a marriage people thought was solid. From the outside, we looked untouchable. Mara was radiant that evening, laughing louder than usual, touching arms, moving from group to group like she was hosting something sacred. I noticed she barely came near me, but I told myself it was nothing. Hosts stay busy. Wives get distracted. I had learned how to rationalize absence. Her best friend Rowan arrived late. He always did. Tall, relaxed, familiar in a way that never quite sat right with me. They hug a little too long, but everyone hugs at parties, right? I raised my glass, swallowed the feeling, and stayed quiet. I had been quiet for years. By 10, the guests started thinning out. Mara disappeared upstairs, saying she had a headache. Rowan followed a few minutes later, carrying 2 glasses of wine. I noticed, but didn't react. I didn't want to be that guy, the suspicious husband reading ghosts into shadows. Trust is supposed to be silent. When the house finally emptied, I went upstairs to check on her. The hallway felt longer than usual, heavy with a stillness that made my chest tighten. Our bedroom door was slightly open. Light spilled onto the carpet. I pushed it wider. They were in our bed. Not tangled, not frantic, not dramatic. Just close. Intimate in a way that doesn't need movement to explain itself. Mara's hand rested on his chest like it belonged there. Rowan looked up first. His face registered surprise, then something like resignation. Mara turned slowly, like she had been expecting this moment all along. I didn't shout. I didn't ask questions. I didn't feel rage the way movies promise. What I felt was clarity, sharp and sudden. 13 years rearranged themselves in my mind. The late nights, the distance, the way she flinched when I touched her, the bedroom that went quiet long before this. She opened her mouth to speak, then closed it. I realized something then. Whatever explanation she had prepared, it wasn't for me. It was for herself. I stepped back, nodding once, like I had just confirmed a detail I already suspected. Rowan slid out of bed, muttering apologies that didn't land. Mara said my name, soft, careful, like I might break. I didn't respond. I walked out, closed the door behind me, and went downstairs. In the kitchen, I poured myself a glass of water and drank it slowly. My hands were steady. That surprised me. I felt no urgency, no panic, just a weight lifting, piece by piece. I grabbed my phone, my wallet, and my jacket. As I reached the front door, Mara's voice floated down the stairs, calling after me. I paused, not to answer, but to listen. I realized I didn't want to hear her explain when it started, or how it didn't mean anything, or how she still cared about me. None of that mattered anymore. Explanations are only useful when something can be fixed. This couldn't. I stepped outside into the cool night air. The party lights were still glowing in the backyard, half-deflated balloons swaying in the breeze. 13 years reduced to decorations no one bothered to clean up yet. I got into my car and sat there for a moment, breathing, feeling something unfamiliar spread through my chest. Relief. I drove to a small hotel near the river and checked in without hesitation. The room was plain, quiet, empty. I sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the wall, replaying the moment over and over, not with pain, but with recognition. I hadn't lost my wife that night. I had found the truth. In the morning, my phone was full of messages. Mara apologizing, Rowan explaining, friend confused. I didn't respond. I showered, dressed, and went for a walk along the water. For the first time in years, I wasn't trying to fix anything. I wasn't trying to be enough. Later that day, I sent one message to Mara. It was simple. I told her I knew. I told her I was done. I told her we would handle everything through lawyers. No insults, no drama, just boundaries. She replied with panic, with regret, with pleas to talk. I didn't engage. People think betrayal breaks you in one loud moment. The truth is quieter. It frees you from pretending. It shows you where you stopped being chosen and where you kept choosing anyway. I didn't leave because I stopped loving my wife. I left because I finally loved myself enough to stop sharing a life with someone who had already walked away. That anniversary will always be remembered, not as the night my marriage ended, but as the night I stopped lying to myself.